Gross national product measures neither our wit nor our courage, neither our compassion nor our devotion to our country. It measures everything, in short, except that which makes life worthwhile. A famous quote by Robert F. Kennedy, former US Attorney General. Theoretically, this could be the case. But in reality, we know that GDP and happiness are highly correlated. And GDP continues to be a pretty good barometer of social progress. A very warm good morning and welcome to the International Conference on Economic of Happiness and Welfare, organized by Department of Economics, St. Joseph College Autonomous Irinalakuda, and Sacred Heart College Chalakudi, Kerala, India. Economic welfare is a level of prosperity and standard of living of an individual or group of persons. But what is economics of happiness? How is happiness measured in economics? How does economy affect happiness in a post-pandemic world? Is there a need for incorporating objectives of happiness index in our policy making? With all such interesting questions pondering in our heads, let's be an active part of this conference with exactly deal with all our queries in a series of 2 days. Now let me brief you. Participants are kindly requested to mute their mics. Thank you. Now let me brief you with the program schedule. Our inaugural session, which is happening now, is inaugurated by Dr. T.K. Mishra, Vice Principal of Ramanujan College, New Delhi, and he'll be addressing the topic Economics of Benefits of Happiness. Our technical session 2 will be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. IST, chaired by Dr. Shirley Jose, IQC Coordinator and Associate Professor of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, and our invited lecturer by Dr. Subhashini Muthukrishnan, retired Professor of Economics, Bangalore, on the topic Wealth and Happiness in Economics. On our day 2, our technical session 1 will be chaired by Dr. Chakodeshwari, and our invited lecture will be on the topic Love as an Organization Norm by Vangi and Bobity, Business Consultant, USA. Our technical session 4 will be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. IST tomorrow, and it will be chaired by Dr. Shirley Jose. And invited lecture will be on the topic Economics, Welfare Science, follow or hubristic by Dr. Jaykishan Prashir, Zakir Hussain College, New Delhi. A final session will be from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. IST. And the invited lecture will be on the topic Economics of Love by Dada Namdananda, an international professional in meditation, yoga, philosophy, natural health science, USA. Here are a few instructions to the participants. Since this is an international conference and we have people attending the same from different time zones, for the sake of convenience, YouTube Live will also be provided, and the link of which will be provided in the Telegram groups. There is only one GoToMeeting link for the day 1. So please ensure you log in with the same link in the afternoon session, that is from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. PST. And please fill the feedback forms on both the days of the conference separately to receive the certificates of participation. Kindly keep your mic and mic muted and camera off during the sessions. Feel free to type your queries in the chat box. Now, without much further ado, let's start our conference on a positive note. We have prayer by Femina Joy, student at St. Joseph College Autonomous, Kerala. Femina.
There shall be showers of blessing. This is the promise of God. There shall be showers of blessing. Showers of blessings. Mercy comes on the surface. Let's have a shower. Let's have a shower. Let's celebration is here.
Thank you, Femina, for that beautiful beginning. Now I invite Miss Daisy PK, Assistant Professor and Head of Department of Economics, St. Joseph College Autonomous, for delivering the welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Eva, good morning to one another. The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance, the wise grows it under his feet. By quoting the words of Robert Oppenheimer, I welcome you all to the 2 days international conference, Economics of Happiness and Welfare, jointly organized by the Economics Departments of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, and the St. Joseph College Autonomous, Iringalakudi. Happiness and welfare are the two important terms in our human life. The success of life is determined by the attitude towards these concepts. But at the same time, it is very difficult to define these terms in a clear-cut frame. As per the World Happiness Report 2021, India's rank is 139 out of 149 countries, and India's happiness index score is decreasing year by year compared to previous ones. The top ranked countries include Finland, Denmark, Switzerland, etc. It was the fourth consecutive year that Finland came out on top position. But this doesn't mean that all the individuals in Finland are happiest persons with a strong mental and physical well-being. As per the 2021 statistics, Finland ranks among the 25 countries which have very high suicide rate. Recent study conducted by the Happiness Research reported that COVID-19 pandemic badly affected emotional well-being and happiness of the individuals. The anxiety rate of COVID-19 patients have an increasing trend with alarming signal. Now you have a question in your mind, how we can lead a happy life in the stressful and pandemic life? Or is there any magical key to open the door of happiness, etc.? Towards this purpose, the Economics Departments of St. Joseph College Autonomous Iringalakudi and the Sacred Heart College Chalakudi joined together by organizing an international conference on economics of happiness and welfare. Today we are indeed very fortunate to have as our chief guest of the inaugural session, Dr. T.K. Mishra, Vice Principal and Associate Professor in Commerce, Ramanujan College, Delhi. Before entering into the CV of Dr. T.K. Mishra, I would like to add some remarks about Ramanujan College, Delhi. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Ramanujan College acted as a role model to other colleges by adopting novel digital pedagogical approach and organizing several faculty orientation programs in association with Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teacher and Training. With an aim to reduce the stress of busy life, the college also offers 6 months course on happiness through its newly established School of Happiness. It is my pleasure to note you that our distinguished chief guest, Dr. T.K. Mishra, is the present in charge of the School of Happiness. He is also the very apt person to inaugurate our conference themed Happiness and Welfare. He has more than 35 years of teaching experience and served 6 years as Director of Center for Ethics and Values. He has organized several national and international conferences, especially on the topic ethics. He edited 7 volumes of International Journal of Applied Ethics. Above all, his writings are often published in the Speaking Tree, a Times of India publication. Some of his latest articles are Happiness is not a rocket science, Moral determination is a key to happiness and success, goodness and joyfulness, etc. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend you, sir, a very warm welcome. Since this conference is a joint venture of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi and St. Joseph College, Iringalakudi, we have 2 conference chairpersons for this conference. Dr. Sister Asha Teres, Principal of St. Joseph College, and Dr. Sister Veena Ittichan, Principal of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi. As you all know, it is very difficult to coordinate the inside and outside academic states of the autonomous colleges in the present scenario. But our beloved principal, Dr. Sister Asha, performs her hectic captaincy with a smile on her face always. We are extremely grateful to you, sister, for your wholehearted cooperation in all our academic adventures. On behalf of the organizers, I extend to you a warm welcome. Dr. Sister Veena Itichan, Principal and Webinar Chairman of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, is a constant source of support and inspiration. She is a lady full of enthusiasm and positive attitude. Always, she wholeheartedly accepted the joint programs of the departments of the Economics Department of SH College, Chalakudi, and the St. Joseph College, Autonomous Irinalakuda. I extend you, sister, a most cordial welcome. Next, I extend a sincere welcome to Vice Principals of St. Joseph College and Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, for their moral support and prayers. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Chako Jospi, Associate Professor, Head, and the Webinar Convener of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi. He is a teacher with highest order and has exceptional ability to establish a rapport with colleagues and students. He is the recipient of M.F. Geni Award for the year 2018, awarded by the Calcutta University for the best teacher in social sciences. He is my research supervisor and a mentor of my academic and professional ventures. He is the real master brain behind the coordination and execution of this international conference. Extend to you, sir, a hearty welcome. Next, I would extend my sincere gratitude to Nichil Jacobi, Webinar Coordinator of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, and Jomal Thomas, Webinar Coordinator of St. Joseph College, Autonomous Irinalakuda, for their sleepless, continuous efforts and coordination to make it a reality. I welcome all the eminent speakers and guests from all over the world who have joined here and will join in the coming sessions to share their knowledge and valuable experiences. Let me welcome all the executive committee members of this conference. I extend a warm welcome to all the attendees of this conference. Without your active contribution, it is not easy to make this program a successful. May this conference will be a very fruitful one to each and every one of you. Let me conclude by saying, happiness is not a ready-made one. Happy persons are happy not because of everything is good, but because gratitude to see good in everything. Wish you all happiness and success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daisy ma'am. We also wholeheartedly welcome you to this international conference. Now, with respect and delight, I invite Dr. Sister Asha Therese, Principal of St. Joseph College, Autonomous Irinalakuda, for the presidential address.
Distinguished Speaker of the Day, Dr. T.K. Mishra, Vice Principal, Ramanujan College, New Delhi, Dr. Sister Reena Ittiyachan, Chairperson of this webinar, and Principal of SH College, Chalakudi, Dr. Chako Jose, Associate Professor and HOD Department of Economics, SH College, Chalakudi, Miss Daisy P.K., HOD Department of Economics, St. Joseph's College, Autonomous Irinalakuda, faculty members and students of the two colleges, and other participants. A cheerful good morning to one and all. It is indeed a pleasure and privilege to preside over the inaugural ceremony of this international webinar on economics of happiness and welfare, which is jointly being organized by SH College, Chalakudi and St. Joseph's College, Autonomous Irinalakuda. As we all know, COVID-19 has restricted all aspects of human life, and all the people around the globe are more anxious and worried about the safety and welfare of their lives. The theme selected for the international webinar, Economics of Happiness and Welfare, is found to be very relevant in the current scenario. According to Louis Pasteur, science knows no boundary because knowledge belongs to the human race and is the torch that illuminates the whole world. This is true for Dr. T.K. Mishra, who is an excellent orator, and presently he is the Vice Principal of Ramanujan College, New Delhi. Professor T.K. Mishra is with us today to inaugurate and to give keynote address for this webinar. On behalf of the management, faculty and students of both colleges, I extend our heartfelt gratitude for finding time in your busy schedule. I am very happy to see Dr. Sister Reena Itiachan, a smart, charming principal who is the chairperson of this international webinar. I would also like to thank and applaud the faculty and students of economics departments of these two colleges for the efforts they have taken to organize a collaborative webinar, which is highly commendable. I pray to God Almighty for the success of this international webinar. May the Lord help us to ponder over the ideas and sharings of the various sessions of this webinar. Once again, by wishing you all a fruitful session ahead. Thank you.
Now, with utmost pleasure and honor, I invite Dr. Sister Reena Itiachan, Principal of Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, to deliver the speech of webinar chairperson.
A pleasant good morning to one and all. I am very happy to note that the Economics Department of Sacred Heart College and the Economics Department of St. Joseph College, Inaugural, is organizing an international online conference on economics of happiness and welfare. The conference topic is very relevant because, as you know, in this COVID-19 pandemic situation, and we are facing many difficulties, and interestingly, the organization has decided to take a deviation from the traditional approach of economics, that is the concentrating on wealth, property, etc. And I take this opportunity to congratulate the head of the Department of Economics, Dr. Chako Jose, and the head of the Department of St. Joseph College, and the webinar coordinator, Mr. Nigel Jacobi, and all the other faculty members of both economic departments. Because in this pandemic situation, we took great pain to make this webinar a reality. We live in a world of growing inequalities both across and within the communities. And first, we must understand the sources and forces of these inequalities. To make it possible, we must adopt new economic models and promote inclusive business ideas that foster the mutual understanding, empathy, and cooperation. And doing this, we allow to build an economy that serves to anyone, whatever matter, whether the income, gender, race, family, class, etc., or any family background, they can thrive and feel that they are all included. The idea, economics of happiness and welfare, comes from the realization that happiness does not entirely depend on wealth, but on the well-being of the society in which we live. And research has found that happy people actively seek to spend time with their families, friends, and the ones whom they are interested, and they build meaningful social relationships. And many world nations started to prioritize the happiness of the citizens over the prosperity, and they are introducing many policies that foster social connections and community interconnection and civic engagement. And as a physics faculty, I would like to add this, that is, our traditional economic view is focused on acquiring more growth, which requires increased use of energy. And nevertheless, the relationship between economic growth and fossil fueled energy is environmentally degrading and socially unequal. The transformation of this pattern requires a transition to a low carbon system, and the transition shall not be exclusively clean but inclusive. That is, it should be affordable to both the rich and the poor alike. Then only the transition to cleaner energy will create a happy economy. This conference, which is the outcome of the joint efforts of both colleges, that is SH College and St. Joseph College, they are both dedicated to the cause of women's education. Women, they have a systematic view that can grasp the interconnections across society and nature. Women have the unique ability to look at the various components of people's well-being to ensure sustainability. Care and unpaid work should be recognized as a significant economic asset. And we should think of a happy economy where gender inequalities are eliminated, and they must guarantee equal pay, equal access to health services, education, and legal protection. One of the organizing secretaries of this international conference, that is our HOD, Dr. Chaco Jose, he told me that he was inspired to take up this topic for the conference based on the letter of Pope Francis wrote in 2019 to young economics and entrepreneurs worldwide. And in that letter, Pope Francis dreams of a different kind of economy. That is one that brings life, not death, inclusive and not exclusive, human and not dehumanizing, one that cares for the environment and does not despoil it. And Pope Francis motivated the young economics to assemble in Assisi, that is the hometown of St. Francis Assisi, the second Christ, under the banner Economy of Francisco, and enter into the covenant to change today's economy and to give a soul to the economy of tomorrow. As a member of this FCC congregation that roots with St. Francis of Assisi, I am delighted to note that the economy of Francisco, which is indeed the economy of happiness, has its origin in the deeds of St. Francis. The decision of St. Francis to embrace poverty also gave rise to a vision of economics that can give hope to a future and benefit not only to the poorest of the poor, but our entire human family. And it's a vision that it's also necessary for the fate of the entire planet. That's our common home, in the words of St. Francis, our sister Mother Earth. I hope the deliberations that occur as a part of this international conference will help in evolving ideas that will help formulate a sustainable world order. And I'm confident that the students and other faculties, other researchers who are attending this event will get the insights to dream of building a more just and beautiful world. I believe that it's the essence of economics of happiness. Once again, congratulating the coordinators and the HOD, Dr. Chaco Jose, and the HOD of St. Joseph College for making this webinar a reality. I conclude my words and all my best wishes for this international webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister, for those insightful words. Let's indeed look forward for a happy economics based on an interdisciplinary comprehensive approach, which is inclusive and sustainable in nature. Now we move on to the much awaited session of the day for the inaugural address and invited lecture on the topic Economics of Benefits of Happiness. I invite Dr. T.K. Mishra, Vice Principal and Associate Professor in Commerce at Ramanujan College, New Delhi. Over to you, sir.
Okay, Dr. Reena, Principal, Sacred Heart College. Dr. Asha, Principal, St. Joseph College. Dr. Chaco and Miss Daisy, other dignitaries on the panel, and esteemed colleagues, faculty members, and my dear students who are participating in this webinar. Let me first congratulate the organizers for having chosen such an important topic for discussion. Happiness is perhaps the only thing on this earth that is wanted by one and all. Human beings have been craving for, asking for happiness for centuries. Well, today, in my 20 to 25 minutes address, I would like to highlight that happiness is both an end and a means in itself. It is just like human beings, human resource is not only a means of production, but also an end in itself. It is end of the production also. It enjoys the fruits of production also. So here, I would not like to go into the macro level, like why our happiness index we are showing so poorly. I would like to touch upon the micro level, that is how happiness helps an individual. Okay, what are the economic benefits that an individual gets, out of happiness? So I would like to share the screen. Today, I would like to just confine my discussion only to the 6 economic benefits of happiness to individuals. Okay, there are immense benefits because we would like to let me go to the second slide. Whenever economists talk of happiness, whether it is in terms of utility or satisfaction, they talk of utility that you derive from buying a commodity. And there is difference between utility and satisfaction. Utility is expected satisfaction, and satisfaction is the realized utility from a good. Okay? And the role of happiness is a feeling of deeper satisfaction. Okay. So, and economics is what? Economics is maximization of satisfaction with a given resource, limited resource, and you try to maximize the output or satisfaction from that. Well, happiness often drives satisfaction as a hiding hand, invisible hand. If you are in a happy mood, you feel more satisfied with the product. Happiness matters. Okay, if you are in a sad mood, you will not derive, any satisfaction from any commodity. You would confine yourself to limited things and you will not go for touring and picnic and all these things. For that, you definitely need a happy mood, happy mindset. Okay. So that means that, when the demand is weak, in the pandemic, what we see, that inventions are not coming. I mean, slowly startups have come and then they are giving you some alternative goods, etc. So you are able to, buy them. But one way out is that, if you are feeling healthy, happy, then maybe you go for buying things, go for shopping and things like that. So that is the connotation that, satisfaction, which is happiness, is needed for creating a demand for a product. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Higher the level of happiness, higher the level of satisfaction. I'm putting things in a very simple manner, you know. Unfortunately, what happened, if you realize, if you try to, ponder over the entire, economics discipline, with the, ever since, econometrics and economic models, etc., have been introduced to the domain of economics, economics has lost its sheen as a behavioral economics. Way back when we had recession, say 1984, in England, in London School of Economics, the Queen of London, she called a meeting and she invited all the economists, in London School of Economics, and she asked just one question. Did you know about this recession coming? And they all were tight-lipped. They didn't have any answer. And similarly, even Avid Bhattacharya, the Nobel laureate, he says that, we have distanced ourselves as an economist from the behavioral, the day-to-day, predictions. We have lost our utility as a discipline. So here, simplifying the whole thing. I mean, I'm not saying that maybe I'm 100% correct, but I've just simplified the whole thing, and I'm trying to make a case that a great economic purpose would be served, if we are able to raise individuals' happiness. In the sense that our rating also might go up, the economy also get a boost. Okay? My contention is that happiness isn't the result of satisfaction. Generally, we have, this feeling in this mind that, if you get a car and, we have amassed property, money, etc., then we will feel satisfied. No. If you're happy, then perhaps you get the success also. And then you perform well also, your productivity also goes up. So happiness is a means, is a cause of satisfaction and not the result of satisfaction. This is my contention, whether it is customer satisfaction, employee job satisfaction, okay? In teaching profession, if we are happy with whatever we are doing, I mean, for that, we need to be satisfied. Then only we can be happy. In pre-COVID times, what happened? Or during COVID times. I mean, in pre-COVID times and during COVID. In pre-COVID times, we had addiction to shopping, traveling, mall, wandering here and there. We are addicted to it. Okay? And we used to derive happiness also. And a lot of satisfaction doing that. Then only we are doing that. Now what happened? That under compulsion during lockdown, we had to de-addict ourselves. And then we slowly try to understand. We were giving a rethinking that what we are doing, why are we doing it? And then we realized that this utility of shopping and extra window shopping, extravaganza, moving here and there, we came to realize during lockdowns. Okay? Now that lockdowns are over, in post-COVID times, I fail to agree with those who are always contemplating that the new normal is going to be a permanent event. I'm sorry. On what basis you are saying that? Again, the old normal has to come back. Okay? And for that, what we need, that we have to reinvent satisfaction in them and raise their demand. So crucial for economic revival. If you will not demand, then there will be no employment, no production. Okay? So we will have to raise our happiness level so that we get more satisfaction in goods. Now, utility. Utility is a psychological phenomena. Happiness is positive psychology. Positive psychology is called happiness. A happiness and satisfaction connection explains the economic benefit of happiness. Increased happiness leads to improved satisfaction. A happy mindset changes our buying behavior. Okay. Now, 6 economic benefits that an individual can derive by being happy. One is low medical bill. A stronger immune system, resilience, a stronger heart, less risk of cardiovascular disease, quicker recovery times, reduces medical bill. Well, this is out of my self-realization. You know, for the last 30 years or so, I have been giving enough time to my health, yoga, pranayama, nature walk. As a result, I never had to spend a single penny for my, medical welfare. Not a penny. Then I realized that today I'm quite comfortable economically just because I didn't have any disease. But today, if I'm infected with some, disease like cancer, etc., I will be a pauper. I'll have to beg for money. But I'm not begging. I'm not in an economic emergency just because, I have taken care of my health properly over the last so many years. So I have saved so many things. This is the first thing that you can measure it, that how much you save. And whatever you save on medical bill, that can be spent upon non-medical bill. Okay, pleasure, for moving, for your education, for so many non-medical issues you can spend. There is a shifting of expenditure from medical bill to non-medical bill. And second is the low conflict cost. Okay, apart from mental anxiety, if you have so many cases, litigations, okay, then maybe you are spending a lot on that. Even in the office, etc., you have crisis. You have a crisis, then you have to settle down, and that means some cost. So that is the conflict. That kind of conflict, whether it is legal or official or anything, that involves some expenditure. So if you're happy, you are quite comfortable with your work, with your bosses, with your colleagues, everyone. So you directly minimize your conflict cost. This is the second, low conflict cost. Okay. Third, sound economic choices. Every day you are making hundreds of economic decisions, right? Since beginning in the morning when you get up, whether you have to go by auto or you have to use a public transport, bus, or metro. All these are economic choices, and if you have a sound mind, a healthy mind, then you will be very prudently choosing that. Okay, even in the morning when you have that tea, then whether you to have tea here or to a canteen or a 5-star hotel, all these are economic choices. For that you need, a happy mindset. Okay, there you will economize. The fourth is a wonderful thing which we never predicted earlier, that, emergence of a chief happiness officers. That is, they have realized that in any organization, if employees are satisfied, the customers would be satisfied. Even in college, in institutions, if your students are happy, then their performance will also go up. If teachers are happy, their performance, they will be more effective, they will be more friendly. It matters a lot in every, departments everywhere. So, in a big way, so far it is very popular in UK and European countries that they are appointing, chief happiness officers equivalent to chief executive officers. They have understood the role of, the importance of having a chief happiness officer. So this is an opportunity for you. And there is no specific, degree or qualification for becoming this. Oh, you should be well versed with values, well versed with positive psychology and things like that, and you have the ability to make others happy. You are able to measure the happiness level of others and all these things. You are fit to be a happiness officer. In all these hospitals, etc., they are employing, in the hospitality sector, the touring sector, everywhere. And the last two, overall benefit, overall healthier lifestyle. Happier people do healthier activities, do exercise. Well, you can see, these are in such a simple way I have presented the whole thing without making any complexity about things. If you are healthy, you are conscious about good eating, right eating, okay? You're not after junk food, fast food. You're happy, then perhaps you appreciate others, you understand the value of friends, you have understanding, you trust people, you socialize. And then after doing all these things, right eating and right working, exercise, physical workout, etc., you get a sound sleep. And then in monetary terms, if you calculate, then you don't feel like going to the hotel for dining and something like that. You will economize on that also. Happy state of mind is never after extravaganza. And finally, a prudent shopping behavior. Happiness will create need-based buying. Okay, it will reduce needless buying and boost savings and surplus. So important. Need-based buying means that either as a producer, generally people cater to the demand. There's difference between need and demand. Okay, we should be focused upon need-based buying. Okay, so this is the overall benefit. This is in a simple way, the 6 things that I could recapitulate, which you directly, benefit from having a happy mindset. Okay. Now, conclusion. When demand is low due to low happiness level, economists must join hands with positive psychologists to raise the level of happiness. This is a wonderful agenda for all our economists to make our discipline more relevant, more useful for the society, addressing the real needs of the society. Okay. So This is what we can conclude. And that is the last thing that I have to say. I invite you all.
സാറ് ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് സംസാരിക്കാൻ കുഴപ്പമില്ല, ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് സംസാരിക്കാം. മൈക്ക് ഓൺ ആക്കിണ്ട്, ക്യാമറ ഓൺ ആക്കുക.
Kindly mute yourself.
അതെ, സാറ് ക്യാമറ ഓൺ ആക്കോ. എന്നിട്ട് ഞാനൊന്ന് പറയാൻ ഞാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ആകെ റെഡി ആയിരുന്നു, പക്ഷെ ഇത്ര നേരം ടെൻഷനായി. സാറൊന്ന് നോക്ക്. എന്നിട്ട് പറ്റിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ വാങ്ങിച്ചോണ്ടല്ലോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മൊബൈലിലേക്ക് ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. പക്ഷെ മൊബൈൽ വരുമ്പോഴേ ഭയങ്കര ഒരു ഇത് വരുന്നത്.
Kindly mute yourself. Okay. We are planning to have a seminar on failure and rejection, a root cause of unhappiness, sadness. Whereas we feel that failure sometimes proves to be a blessing in disguise, even rejection. So we are trying to attack on the root cause of unhappiness. How to address your failure as a blessing. How to address your rejection as a blessing, so that you can address your happiness point. So a failure seminar. It will be a failure seminar. You must have heard about success seminar a lot, but we are planning a failure seminar. And then we also invite all of you to our this happiness course, UGC approved happiness. Second batch is already going on. And this is 6 months, values based. It's not simple happiness, values based, happiness. And let me tell you another point here, that when Mr. Chako invited me, it was a kind of homecoming for me, because all my life I had the privilege of seeking my education from missionary institution. My school, Central Aloysius School, my college, entire graduation, St. Xavier's College, Ranchi. So my natural inclination, I give full credit for the natural inclination to ethics, values, and happiness to my institutions, missionary institutions, where I could see the kind of devotion in my father. We call our professors used to be called father, and they were the practitioners of values. How duties can be performed religiously, I learned from there. And those things I want to implement here. I must be thankful to all of you and Professor Chapa especially, who had undergone a course from our college, and he got inspired. I'm very happy that he has carried forward all those things and he has implemented that particular project in his college, in his college. And another fact that let me tell you, that he has, somehow, I must be thankful to him for having a north-south connect. Okay. I find that in North, there are not many takers of this idea, because they are very fast pace moving towards economic development. But maybe such ideas of values, happiness, all these things, we find many takers in the South, where they don't have mania for amassing wealth, materialistic development. Okay. So I'm really overwhelmed by talking to you all, and I'm very thankful to both the colleges. I can repeat that I think my institution has called me back to report back what have you done in your career. And I really am very happy with my job, and only contribution of mine towards my growth is that I never stopped my natural inclination towards ethics, values, and happiness. That's all. Thank you very much, and let us look forward for an interesting session, now onwards. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Dr.
so much, Ms. Russell.
Yeah, Krishnagiri, one second. Thank you so much, Dr. T.K. Mishra. It is in fact very interesting to know that you are running a course on UGC-approved course on happiness, and I understand that your college has a Center for Happiness Studies, and you are associated with that. In fact, it was that course that led me to you. It was not your Delhi School of Economics background that took me to you, but it was your background of that course in happiness that led me to you. When I searched, I found that you have coordinated such a course. So I'm very thankful. When I contacted you, you very readily agreed. Ramanujan College, as all of you know, is a very vibrant college and has made a very good contribution to faculty training, especially after the lockdown started. There are a large number of courses offered by the Ramanujan College, and I have attended 3 or 4 courses. In fact, I have just finished a course yesterday on blended learning. So really happy to see that Ramanujan College is doing that, and I understand he's also the vice principal of Ramanujan College. So on behalf of both the colleges, I would like to wholeheartedly thank Dr. T.K. Mishra for this address. Thank you very much, sir.
So, T.K. Mishra, sir, thank you so much for that enlightening session, happiness, for reminding us that happiness is a means of satisfaction and how important health is to attain happiness, and sound economic choices that lead us to lead a satisfying life with happiness. And thank you so much, T.K. Mishra, sir. Now we move on to the Q&A session. I request the participants to raise their queries in the Google GoToMeeting chat box to Dr. T.K. Mishra, sir. So please type in your queries quick.
Dr. T.K. Mishra, some participants are asking about the UGC course. So can you just brief on the UGC course of happiness? Some would like to know when the next will start. I understand that course is running now. It is a 6-month course. So some people are asking when will the next course start?
Well, we are planning. Due to COVID times, the session has been extended. Beyond the stipulated time. So by August, we will again, advertise it on our college website. Kindly visit the website regularly, and you will come to know. Or Professor Chaco is our link man. Will inform him also, and you can get in touch with Dr. Chaco. He will come. He will tell you. Okay.
Sir, we have a question in the chat box. Can we correlate spirituality and happiness?
A wonderful question. Why not? Definitely. What is spirituality? Spirituality is doing your work religiously. You can see your sisters, fathers in your institution itself. how devotedly, this is devotion, word devotion is there, how devotedly they perform their work. And that is why they are satisfied with whatever they are doing. So, spirituality means that you have focused yourself more on work rather than on fruits. And you are deriving pleasure from the work itself. Work is your worship. Okay? So definitely there is a relationship between the two. I mean, by having, inclination towards spirituality, you start giving less value to the materialistic aspirations. Okay? And then you are focused upon becoming a good human being. Okay, so definitely there is a role of that. Even Aristotle has said that, that when you work upon your virtues, and then maybe you are habitual of doing good work, and then you realize that you have a happy state of mind. Okay, happy state of mind, and that is far beyond the day-to-day pleasure that you derive in buying things and gratifying yourself. Okay? So it's a good question, and I say that definitely there is a relationship between the two.
Thank you, sir. There is one another question. Now we see technological progress in every sphere of life. So does technological progress make people happier? This is a question from Bhadra Bhadraj.
Again, a good question, because people are in dilemma that this online courses and technology has expanded so much. So what do? We give a preference to the technology or all these social sciences. Well, technology is our creation. We should not forget that. God has not created, we have created technology. Technology is for our benefit. We don't have to become slave of the technology. We are the master of the technology. And if we want to remain as a master, then obviously something that the technology doesn't have, you have to master on that. The technology doesn't have feelings, doesn't have emotions, doesn't have values, doesn't have discipline. So many things they don't have. By developing emotional intelligence, which they don't have. They have artificial intelligence, you have natural intelligence, emotional intelligence. Try to develop that. Those are, soft skills, life skills. And if you compare your soft skill with the technology, the role of soft skill is as important as the role of software in a computer. Without developing software, you cannot develop, computer technology. Similarly, without developing soft skill, you cannot become a good human being. So technology has one role, you have a better role, a wider role than the technology.
Thank you, sir, for that addressing that question. Another question. There is a perception that successful people are more happy. So the question is there a relation between success and happiness? Or just is it that only happy people are successful people? Is there a relation between success and happiness?
Another good question. I appreciate that. Okay. Who will decide my success? Maybe, in very briefly, I would like to explain. Maybe, I am working with full honesty That realization itself makes me successful from inside. I have a feeling that I'm quite successful. Why? Because whatever work I'm doing with full honesty and sincerity and devotion. That is the criteria, that is the parameter of judging my own success. Okay, I have little money, but that money is earned money. Even Arthur Brooks of Harvard University, you can go through that book. Okay, Three Equations of Happiness. He has written that book, and in that he says that not money, but earned money makes you happy. See, what a beautiful line he has written in that book. Not money, but earned money. Earned money means out of your honest work, hard-earned money. That really gives you satisfaction as well as happiness. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for beautifully addressing that question. We have another question. How is social media helping in achieving happiness? There are a variety of social media now, and they are helping to connect people, but they are also spreading fake news. And how is social media playing a role in happiness?
Well, another good question. Why I'm saying that these questions are really worthwhile, because these questions are coming right from the heart. They are, finding some problems in that, and they have a lot of dilemma in that, and that's why they are raising these questions, which must be clarified by the teachers. What is happening? That information and knowledge, it's available in the air. Anyone can access it. Anyone can access it, easily access. But how to filter that information? Information coming from various vested interest groups and this marketing and all these groups. But, how to decide that which information I should, absorb and which I should discard. In a simple way, let me tell you, you have joined a buffet, okay, and a variety of food items are there. Okay, variety of food items are there, but you have to choose out of them that which one is out of your liking and which is, a healthy one. Okay, there would be so many, fast food also, but you select that which suits my health. Okay, it is something like, I was doing a course better than before by Emilia. I invited her also for a seminar, international seminar. She welcomed there. She was there. Try to listen to the wisdom of your body. Wisdom of your body. That will tell you. That will guide you everything. Social media is good, but you have to decide to what extent. Okay? You have to keep a balance between, your personal time. Personal time means you are also something. You are an entity. You have to study yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to see how are you doing. So yes, you should give some time to that also. You have to give some time to your parents also. You have to give some time to your duty also. Maybe you are a student, you have certain duties also. So, in a balanced way, if you address these things, then perhaps social media will not harm you. But if you're totally dependent upon social media and discarding all other areas, then perhaps it's a dangerous sign. Somebody was asking me that 20 years beyond, just give a vision that what kind of industry would flourish so that we can invest on that. I told them that hospitality industry is the future business because youngsters are going to have problems with their ears, with their eyes, with their mental health, so many problems which the technology has created and is going to create. So if you want to invest, you invest in the hospitals. That will be in great demand in coming years because of this technology. So have a balance. Don't restrict yourself. When we are talking about happiness, then controlling yourself. The moment you use the word control, it means you are suppressing your happiness. You are becoming unhappy. What you can do is you persuade yourself, you request yourself, you pray yourself, just like you pray your God. You pray yourself that please, why don't you do this? Why don't you have a healthy diet? Why don't you get up early in the morning, to go for a walk? Request. That will not create unhappiness in your mind. Happily, you will get up in the morning, go for a walk, everything. Develop that temperament. Don't try to control or command your nature. That is the problem. Then you don't like it. And then you have dilemma whether to do it or not. Be in a requesting mood. Okay? That's it.
Thank you so much, sir, for again beautifully addressing the question. I'm sorry to the participants who have raised other queries. We have almost reached the time. So we're ending the Q&A session here. Now I request Mr. Nigel Jacobi, Webinar Coordinator and Assistant Professor on Contract at Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, for delivering the vote of thanks.
Oh, thank you, Krishnagiri. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can. We can hear you.
Yes, sir, perfectly audible.
Thank you. Dr. Sister Ashley Therese, Principal, St. Joseph College, Autonomous, who is presiding this inaugural session. Dr. Sister Rina Itiachan, Principal, Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, who is the chairperson of the session. Dr. T.K. Mishra, Vice Principal, Ramanujan College, New Delhi, who inaugurated this session. And Dr. Daisy P.K., Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Economics, St. Joseph College, Autonomous, who welcomed the session. And other faculty members, dear participants of this conference. I'm sure we had a meaningful session today on the topic we selected, economics of happiness and welfare. When we selected this topic, we were thinking exactly what our resource person, Dr. T.K. Mishra, did today on the topic, economics of benefits of happiness. Because we wanted to have both dimensions, economics of happiness and economics of welfare. Economics of welfare is a very common term, and everyone knows what is economics of welfare. But we thought we have a view from both sides. So that is exactly what we were expecting when we designed this conference. And that has been wonderfully delivered by Dr. Mishra. So we were about to end the inaugural session of this two-day international conference on economics of happiness and welfare. So let me come to my duty. I would like to thank Dr. Sister Ashley Therese, Principal, St. Joseph College, Autonomous, for her presidential address for this two-day international conference and for all her support. And Dr. Rina Itiachan, Principal, Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, for her valuable words as a conference chairperson and for support. Both these two principals of these colleges have given us all the facilities and the support to conduct this international conference. Both academic and non-academic support were given by them. So I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Sister Asha Teres and Dr. Sister Renai THN. When we approached them for this joint venture between economics of Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, and Department of Economics, this St. Joseph College, Iringalakkuda, they readily agreed for this venture. So I extend my sincere gratitude to these two principals. Thank you, sister, and thank you, Sister Vinay THN. And I extend my gratitude to Dr. T.K. Mishra. So this conference was inaugurated by Dr. T.K. Mishra, Vice Principal, Ramanujam College, New Delhi. I should say that when we approached him, he readily agreed and assured all the support. What he spoke on economics of benefits of happiness was incredible, and he did justice to the topic. Really, you made us happy with your presence and words. We extend our sincere gratitude to you, sir, on behalf of this Department of Economics, Sacred Heart College, Chalakudi, and on behalf of this St. Joseph College, Autonomous, Iringalakkuda, I extend you our wholehearted gratitude. Thank you, sir. And I extend my thanks to Daisy, who is proposed welcome address. And actually, when I say thank you to her, I have to mention one more person, that is Dr. Chakko Jospi, who is the secretary of this international conference. So we work as a team, and this is what we were doing for a couple of weeks, and we are happy to make it happen. So I extend my sincere gratitude to Daisy PK and also to Dr. Chakko Jospi. And so I would like to extend my thanks to all the participants, because we have participants. We have more than 750 registrations, and from different parts of the world, I should say, because we have participants from Bangladesh, Bhutan, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Oman, Pakistan, Philippines, USA, and of course India. And we thank you for being part of this international conference, and also request you to be part of all the technical sessions that is going to continue, and in all our future ventures. So I extend my thanks to all these participants who are here in this GoToMeeting platform, and also watching from YouTube. And I also extend my thanks to Krishna Giri, the chairperson of our college and our final year degree student of the Department of Economics, who is the host of this conference. She did it beautifully, and thank you, Krishna Giri, for playing your part wonderfully. So I extend my gratitude once again, and I wish you all very happiness and success in all the days of your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Nijal sir. With that, we come to the end of the morning session. We'll rejoin the session after a short lunch break. So please join with us at 2 p.m. IST. Please use this exact same link for joining in GoToMeeting. There will be another YouTube link will be provided differently. I repeat, please use the same GoToMeeting link to join at the technical session at 2 p.m. The YouTube link will be different. The feedback form will also be provided after the end of technical session. So we'll break now, and please join with us at 2 p.m. Thank you.